Hey there, Mini Wargamers. Owen here from MiniWarGaming with
Andy.
Today we're doing a 1850 Planetstrike game with Towe attackers against Ork defenders. So stay tuned for that, and remember, go to miniwargaming.com/challenge to challenge a Mini Wargamer.
We work so you can play. MiniWarGaming, speed, the cooler, bat rap.
So here we have Andy's 1850 Ork Army. In the front, he's got a mech boy with a custom force field and 2 ammo grots with him. And very nicely painted. I really liked this whole army here. He's got a big unit of Ludas behind the grots there, and then he's got 2 of the... They're not the big Squigoths. They're the little version of Squigoths. They're pretty cool, monstrous creatures. And then he's got 2 battle wagons. One of them has the zap gun on it. The other one is just open-topped and coming in from reserve, trying to bring in a lot of the other guys. Then he's got 2 units of 5 Defcoptas. Now, I am not a fan of Defcoptas as a Towe player because they just eat my battle suits. He's got a bomber here, and then he's got a looted wagon, then a unit of 30 Shudas, or 20 Shudas, and then a unit of 20 Choppas with non-Power Claw Boss Pull, all the fun Ork upgrades. For my Towe, I have my Battlesuit Commander. He is going to be the one carrying the flag at the beginning. He's got all kinds of upgrades. Plasma Melt, Iridium Armor, Stimulate Injectors, Shield Generator, and Multi-Tracker. And then I've got my Battlesuits who have Targeting Arrays and Melt-A-Guns, as well as one of them has a Plasma Gun. And then we've got the Devilfish with Pathfinders, Devilfish with Fire Warriors, Devilfish with Fire Warriors who are an honor guard to that Ethereal. Just wanted to try them out. Then we've got more Devilfish Fire Warriors and more Pathfinders Devilfish. Now they all have EMP grenades, and then at the back I've got 2 broadsides and 2 hammerheads. Everyone in my army has either EMP grenades or something to break into defenses. And here is the board that we're playing on with the Orks deployed on it. The game type here in this Planetstrike is I need to plant the flag on a piece of terrain, one of his fortifications here, and he has 1 turn after I plant it to take it down or I win. Unless I plant it on the highest piece, in which case he loses automatically, and it's a victory for the Towe attackers. So here's how he set up the terrain, being the defender, and now the Firestorm begins because I get D6 plus 5 bombs, and I roll 4. So looks like we got 9 bombs coming in. The first one comes down, scatters, misses. The next one comes down, direct hit on 6 of the boys, and I do wound 4 of them, and they get no save against the Strength 9 AP3 Ordnance Barrage. Then the 7th bomb, I start aiming for the big critter there. It scatters off 10 inches, but it still clips a few of the boys behind the wall there. And the arrow being right over the wall, he doesn't get a cover save from that either, so 2 more of them go down, because he does not want to go to ground. He wants to be able to shoot. I fire another one down. This one's a direct hit. It does a wound to the big Squigoth there. Another one comes down. This one scatters just a little bit over once again and still clips a few more of the Ludas. Hits them and does another wound now. He had a stratagem that allowed the Fortress of Redemption to not be hurt by the bombs coming down. That's why it doesn't ever have to roll to see if anything happens to it, because he does have void shields on it. So it's got a armor 12 until it's glanced or penetrated by something else than the Firestorm. So the other bomb scatters off, it hits the other fortress, and I do try and destroy it because it's strength 9 and it's ordnance, so I get 2 dice, but I don't do anything. Just a glance and there's no one in there. The next one scatters only slightly back, does hit the big critter as well as the fortress once again. Or not the fortress, the bastion, so it wounds the critter, and still nothing on the bastion there. The last bomb, this one scatters way off in the middle of nowhere. But it does do a little bit here, trying to pen once again, and it fails. So now the beginning of Towe turn 1, we're going to be rolling to see what I can get in. So the Battlesuit Commander comes in, the Battlesuits, they come in, then we've got the Pathfinders who come in, and the Fire Warriors, they don't come in, I believe. Yeah, they don't come in. This is the Ethereal and his Honor Guard are in, the other Fire Warriors, they're in. And then we've got the Pathfinders, the other unit, and I believe they were in as well. See, now we should have rolled the dice next to them. That would have made a lot more sense instead of just firing dice into a pile of other dice. The broadsides don't, but both the hammerheads do. So here I am. They're not deployed yet. I'm just putting them down where I'm thinking I want them to go. So I put the commander down right there behind the tree next to that battle wagon because they've all got meltas. So I figure I'm going to jump up and blow that up on turn 1. So they move up. The hammerhead moves in from the side just in case they fail to blow it up. He can shoot it. The other devilfish, this one carrying the ethereal and his honor guard, they all move up and disembark into the difficult terrain. We weren't sure about this, but whether or not you roll for difficult terrain when you're disembarking, we decided afterwards that I would, so I do roll off, and I'm not sure. I think it comes up in a second here. But I start placing them down, and this is where we get in that little bit of a debate. So I roll off, and they get 5 inches. So leave a comment, let me know for sure. We didn't double check the rules, but probably do. Anyway, so they all deploy into that terrain. They have +1 ballistic skill for being with the ethereal. He gives them that. They pay for it, but they get a better ballistic skill when you bring them as an honor guard. Got my devilfish moving up. The white ones are the ones carrying the pathfinders, so they move as fast as they can, jumping on top of building tops, and the other hammerhead moves in slightly. Start off shooting the battlesuit commander. He aims at the battle wagon, hits it, and 2d6 pen, and does not do anything. The other 3 now try and fire, and they all hit because of their targeting arrays, and they do a pen, and a glance. So the first pens, they blow it up right then and there. So bad news for the orcs. They do lose a battle wagon on turn 1 because it is AP1. That's why it's +2 on the strength 5. We weren't sure if he got a cover save though, so we rolled for it just in case, which he failed. So once again, tank and area terrain. Don't believe he gets a cover save, but we gave it to him just in case, and I don't think it worked out. Railgun shoots, it scatters, and going back 4 inches, hits the large creature there as well as one of the Ludas, and does a wound to the big critter, but it has a 4-up save being behind that fortification and is okay. And then the Luda, he has to make his save, which he makes as well, because I believe that one went to ground. Now I'm firing against the void shields of the fortress with this railgun. It hits, and I need just a 2 to glance, so it hits again, and the void shields go down. The fire warriors with the ethereal, they start firing off. They hit on 3s, wounding on 5s on the big creature there. They get 4 wounds, and it has to try and make its 4-up cover save, which it fails, and it only has 1 wound left, so the little squigoth there, he goes down. And then in the rest of my shooting, these tanks, they go flat out just to get +1 of their jink, and they kind of move up on the building, planning on dropping the pathfinders. This one moves up slightly more with another unit of fire warriors. And my battle suits move up. The crisis suit's moving 2d6, and they get a 7, I believe, but the battlesuit commander, he only rolls 1d6 due to the iridium armor slowing him down, but he does get a 6, or 5. Either way, he gets pretty fast, so he's off on his way. And now the orcs get their turn 1. Now they're going to have reserves that are coming in here. They've got the battle wagon, and it does come in. He's got a big unit of chopper boys, and they don't come in, but he does have a relay, so he gets another chance thanks to that relay right there. But they still don't come in, so he does not get his chopper boys. Then the first unit of Defcopters, and they come in. The next unit of Defcopters, and he rolls a 1, but he gets to reroll thanks to that relay, and they do come in as well. And then the fighter bomber, or the bomber, it comes in. And there we go. Whenever deciding what table edges they come in, on a 1 or a 2, it's on his table edge. On a 3 or a 4, it's on one of the sides. And on a 5 or a 6, it's on my edge. So he begins placing his Defcopters. These ones came in on his end of the board as well. So they're going to be facing down my tanks from across the board. So he lines all those Defcopters up. And I really don't like Defcopters. They kill pretty much everything in my army. And now these ones happen to come in behind me. So they're right behind my hammerhead there, which is definitely in trouble because they're within the 12 inches. So its disruption pods are not going to help it out with its cover saves. So we'll have to worry about that. The fighter bomber comes in on his side of the board, and it flies off. It can't go quite far enough to drop a bomb as it comes in, but it will still be able to shoot its guns. The beginning of the movement phase starts. He moves 3 of the Ludas. They move away from the relay, now no longer needing it because he's going to be rolling in on 2+ next turn. And the shooter boys, they all climb out of the inside of the bastion, or the Fortress of Redemption. They're all sitting on top of that little building there now. At the end of it, we couldn't really get them all to fit. We just agreed that he could spill over on the little catwalk in the middle. Even though technically it's 2 buildings, we just agreed that it's no problem that he puts them there. So you'll see as we try and force everybody on. But they're all up on top of there now. He rolls to not press that. He does not. Then he shoots his big gun there at my fire warriors. He's wounding on 2s. He gets a whole bunch of wounds, but they go to ground and they take cover saves. First they do a lookout, sir, and he fails, or he takes a whole bunch of cover saves actually on a 3+. Does a lookout, sir here. It scatters, kills a guy next to him. and that's that. So I only lost 2. Then he fires his rockets into the back of my tank, hitting on 5s, but he does get twin linked, so 2 hits right there, glancing on 2s, 2 pens. The rest of them are now hitting side armor. These ones, once again, hitting on 5s, re-rolling, and they need 4s for a glance. They get another pen. I have 5 5-up cover saves, or 3 5-up cover saves. I failed them all, so it's dead, and it does explode though, and in 6 inches, so I can try and hurt those Coptas, but I don't do anything, and I lose one of my hammerheads right away. Next is Big Squiggoth shoots its crack shot at the side of my tank, and it does actually miss. And we remember that the rest of the guns on that looted wagon do get to fire. It's got a rocket and a big shooter. It does hit with the rocket and does a wound, and we do a lookout sir who dodges it, and it goes after the fire warrior next to him, who makes his save anyway, so he's okay. And then he goes flat out with his tank just to move up a little bit more, and fires the big shooters at my commander, and does do a wound, but the commander, of course, has a 2-up armor save and is fine. Now he fires the large blast from the fortress there, which I didn't realize is strength 8 AP 3, and he hits 2 of them. I try going to ground, and they fail the save anyway, so 2 of my 3 battlesuits are dead. Now, on top of that, there's an automated gun that's a large blast. It's basically another battle cannon, thanks to the stratagem that he took. Now he's firing 2 more shots from each Luda into my fire warriors, who are all crouched into that fort, the ruins still. And they get a bunch of shots. Those were the ones hitting on 6s because they had moved. The rest of them are hitting on 5s. He gets a whole bunch of hits. First, to do a bunch of lookout sirs, and the commander lives with 3 ups on each, or the squad leader. The marine next to him lives again, but then gets killed. Now the shots are going on the ethereal, and he fails it and is instantly killed because of it being double his toughness. And then the next guy survives. So now all of my units are going to have to do a leadership check at the end of this phase. Fires off his heavy bolters automated from the bastion, and then fires the rest of the guns. The other Def Copters fire at my broadside, or my hammerhead, and they get a whole bunch of shots, but they're needing like 5s to even glance it, so it just kind of ricochets off. But now the leaderships begin. Commander makes his, but the battlesuit loses its and runs 8 inches right to the edge of the board. Doesn't quite fall off the edge of the board. So he's standing right on the edge. These fire warriors, leadership 8 right now, they stay. And that is the end of turn 1. So it's pretty close right now. Still a lot of people left. A lot of casualties though on both sides. Lots of fire warriors, the battlesuits. Then there's the the battle wagon and the Ludas. So stay tuned for part 2, and let's see how this battle goes.